In 1 Corinthians 15, 3 through 9, Paul says that his gospel is the death, the burial, the resurrection, and the appearances of Christ. And so the question comes up a lot, can you share the gospel without mentioning all those things? What if a person mentions the death and the burial of Christ but doesn't mention his resurrection? Or what if a person mentions the death of Christ but not his burial? And maybe his resurrection, but not his appearances. Do you have to mention all those elements? And doesn't that create a problem? Because in the Gospel of John, it seems the way Jesus shares the Gospel is many times he never articulates, on many occasions he does not articulate his death or his resurrection, yet he leads people to faith in him. And the Gospel of John is written after Pentecost to tell people how to be saved. So what gives here? Why do we seem to have two different ways of articulating the Gospel? Who would want to comment on that?
I'll take a shot at it. I think what we need to distinguish is between what we might call the full gospel story and the bare minimum that one has to believe to be saved. There's no question that the full gospel story is how Jesus provided for salvation, and then what is the term or condition on which we receive it. And let me just say here, all experience in dealing with people shows that when you are talking to them about a free gift, which they only need to believe to be in possession of, they're going to say, how can it be free? And what is obviously the biblical explanation of that, and the one that works with people, if they are willing to believe the gospel, is that Christ paid for this. He made the total payment. And therefore there's nothing for us to pay. And all we are asked to do is believe. That makes the offer of a free gift intelligible. And I very much believe in preaching the cross to people, because in the light of the cross alone do we really understand the freeness of salvation. But if you ask me, what would I have to tell a person if I had 2 minutes in the airport to do it, then I would probably tell them what we have in John 11, 25 and 26. So I think that we can say, Paul is talking about the gospel in 1 Corinthians 15, but he's not necessarily talking about the bare minimum which it is necessary to believe in order to be saved. We want to begin the gospel in eternity past, we can. And the birth of Christ, the virgin birth, is part of the gospel story if we expand it. But I'm not going to tell a person that unless they believe in the virgin birth, they're not going to be saved. However, that helps to explain how God has provided salvation.